Hi everyone, this is Ivanka with Interview Global, and today I would like to talk about what are those very effective, most successful tips for your future career search, tips for your interviewing successes, and obviously landing your job successfully within reasonable timing. So, number one tip for those who either starting their career, maybe you're back on the market after laid off, maybe your position was terminated, maybe you had a break for maternity leave, or you was taking care of your elderly parent. It's really doesn't matter what's your situation currently. I just always would like to encourage. Starting with my friends, right, and people that I work with, and coaching them and providing my services as a coach and interview preparational trainer, that number one tip for your job search and successful interviews, it would be definitely to bring your confidence. As you know, majority of first rounds of interviews are happening purely via phone. Very rarely you would have video calls, or you would have a meeting in person with the recruiters. So your confidence starts with how do you sound on the phone. And I can say from my experience working in this industry for over 20 years that confidence is a huge part of your success moving forward. How you sound, how clear are you, how are you matching energy of your interviewer? Are you slow? Are you too quick? Are you almost screaming, or maybe very shy? I remember those cases when I asked person to repeat what he or she is saying because I barely hear himself or herself, right? Obviously, it was something naturally I asked because I wanted just to understand them better on the phone. But moving along, kind of looking on the long term, how you sound on a phone at the beginning can potentially lead or impact how your interview process is going to go moving forward. So before you start your phone call, before somebody call you as you arrange at specific time and date, right? Start working on your confidence. First of all, great kind of techniques that I implemented honestly for myself when I was interviewing for certain roles, and I practice it and I use it for decades. Each time I was interviewing, right? Very simple techniques that I want to share with you. When you take a call, when you're talking to somebody on the phone, possibly stand. You're not sitting, you're standing. If your morning was in rush, if you was not sure when potentially is the best time of interviewing, I would recommend you to pick a time which is very early in the morning before your work start. If you have your work and you need to run to your meeting right after that, or maybe you're taking some time off. From my experience, the best right possible timing, it would be, for example, 9 a.m. your time, 8:30 your time, 9:30 your time, 10, right? So obviously all of us living in different conditions and circumstances. If you have to drop your kids, or it's too loud because you're working from home and your child is with you at home, make sure that you have a great environment where you're taking that round of interviews. Do not rush to those interviews, right? If you're not ready, if you're not prepared, do not kind of allow a recruiter to continue talking to you. If somebody just called you that you didn't expect it, ask them to call you at specific timing that you arranged later via usually email. Or if you know exactly when you would be available and comfortable chatting, arrange those couple of different time frames with a recruiter and ask him or her to confirm it. It's extremely important for you to be in a zone, to be in a location where you can hear really clearly, where you're very comfortable answering the questions. So I saw people talking on the streets. I saw people talking almost like on the grocery shops or somewhere else. Make the best environment for yourself in order to succeed, especially if it's your first round of interviews. For me personally, when I call into one of the recruiters and he or she is on the phone and driving, first thing I'm asking, is it safe for you to drive? Because I really worry about you if we continue for another 30 minutes. And he or she just tell me that, listen, yes, I just parked, I can talk, or yes, I'm on a speakerphone, I can do that, or my wife is driving, I'm absolutely okay. So I've been in all of those scenarios before, but my advice is have a room which is silent, have a room where you're very comfortable chatting, and chatting pretty, I would say, loud. You're not screaming, but you're not like whispering. So pick your conditions and pick the best environment where you would be comfortable. All right. What else would be important? Obviously, before you start your job search, before you start sending your resumes, make sure that you actually polished and updated your resume. Very often what happens, candidates, they jump into the process. Maybe it's because of the desperation, maybe it's a huge need for them to start working again, but they basically do not even sometimes update their resumes. And I've been in certain situations as a recruiter where I spoke to candidates and I saw old resumes in front of me. I didn't have information on the current job or a recent project. And obviously, again, it raised some questions. It raised unnecessary questions very often. And it also showing kind of a lack of preparedness, a lack of accuracy, a lack of motivation very often, and professionalism, to be honest. So make sure that no matter what are your circumstances, take some time off. It might be a week, it might be a couple of weeks. If you have such luxury, you can take a month off where you can take a break, go for a vacation, think of what you want to do next, right? So that process for you, it's a little bit longer than for average employees, somebody who needs to have like a paycheck coming next 2 weeks or next months. But definitely think of the most critical areas and information that would be on your resume. We are talking not just about job description and your responsibilities. This is okay, but it's not what excites interviewing teams, recruiters, and hiring managers. What would be the most effective way of your time and how would you update? You would definitely put as much as possible information about your accomplishments, about innovation that you brought, about simplifications of projects that you actually made for the company, and how did you improve specific processes. Maybe you brought specific programs that allows your company run more smoothly. Also, think of the scale and scope and impact you make. It depends what's your role currently and what company you're with. But all of it should be in very detailed but to the point kind of manner described on your resume. If you need any assistance of professional approach, how to write effective resumes, how to edit effectively based on the current market, Interview Global actually provides a service, and it's very custom based. It based totally to your needs, based on where you at your career. Are you changing your career or are you still continuing? Looking on the best trends and best practices of our day's job market. So if it's something that you would be interested, just contact us for a session and we can go with you. First, we're talking to you, we understanding better what do you need next, and then we actually either creating a resume or fully editing your resume to make shine, to make it be kind of selected through the thousands of others, sometimes or hundreds, for the role, and give you those tips and tricks how to be successful with that resume. All right, so this is number 2 tip. Number 3 tip that I would point out really highly those days, especially with the current economy in 2024, would be connections. Connections with your immediate friends, family, your network, your peers,